Welcome to a new episode of Incredible Moments, BAC, where we revisit catastrophic moments that are shaping our world. July 2025 witnessed a series of natural disasters ravaging regions across the globe, beginning on July 6th in Mataram, West Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia, where extreme rainfall triggered devastating floods.
Timur dalam raya, banjir nih hindari jalan ini nih.
More than 30,000 people from 7,676 families were affected, with 15 injuries and 520 people displaced to temporary shelters. Rivers overtopped their banks, sweeping away dozens of cars and trees and collapsing the perimeter wall of the Sandubaya waste facility. Crossing to North America, New York City not only faced flooding but also contended with fires. Significant disruption from flooding also struck South Canisteo, New York.
That truck is in the water.
Wow. Look.
Ica, oversight sudah setinggi ini. Ini mobil sudah hanyut. Itu lagi mobil di sana tuh hanyut. Tapi kedinginan.
Nenek, orang kadi fangke, please. Kenapa tak pilih?
Kita bagari lagi.
On Long Island, the Smithtown Library endured a heartbreaking event as floodwater poured through a basement wall, nearly destroying the entire lower level, an echo of the historic August 2024 flood that devastated its archival collections and required an estimated $21 million in reimbursements from FEMA, the Department of Homeland Security, and New York State. New York City subway stations were heavily inundated as torrential rain pounded the U.S. Northeast, severely disrupting subway service and the Metro North Railroad.
Somebody needs a diaper.
In New Jersey on July 14, 2025, Somerville and other low-lying areas were hit by major flooding after intense rainfall. By July 15th, flash floods swept across the state. Prompting Governor Phil Murphy to declare a state of emergency. 2 people died in the floods, and Somerset, Union, and Middlesex counties recorded the highest totals, Watchung at 651 inches and Mountainside at 534 inches. Numerous roads, closed vehicles were stranded, and rescuers used front-end loaders to ferry residents to safety. A house explosion in North Plainfield added to the night's chaos. These events reignited discussions about climate change and overdevelopment, with scientists and insurers highlighting the growing severity of extreme weather. Across the Atlantic, Europe also endured pounding rain. Tarazona in Zaragoza. Aragon, Spain suffered severe flooding on July 11th.
Les taules de quiròfan.
A day later, Occitania, France saw major flooding across its low-lying areas. And by July 23rd, Beaune-en-Vermandois in Ain, France was submerged by floodwaters.
See you later, friend. That sucks.
Aquí, aquest és el nou canal, Anoia Carme.
Austria was not spared. Fierce thunderstorms triggered large landslides in Schnitz, Tyrol, forcing the evacuation of dozens. In Asia on July 8th, Lukang Township in Changhua County, Taiwan, faced flooding in low-lying areas after heavy rain. Turning to Calgary, Alberta, Canada, a powerful hailstorm on July 13th caused extensive vehicle damage. The storm was estimated to cost $92 million in insured losses, roughly 65% from vehicles. Known as Canada's Hailstorm Alley, Alberta has seen more than $11 billion in hail damage in the past 2 decades. Abha in Asir Province, Saudi Arabia, also endured large hail on July 9th, flooding streets and nearby hillsides amid broader flash flood alerts across the country. Back in North America, Ruidoso, New Mexico experienced floods that swept away everything in their path on July 8th, leaving muddy torrents behind. On July 19th, Silver Spring, Maryland saw road disruptions and flooding after prolonged rain. In New Mexico, Vado suffered flash flooding in low-lying areas. While harrowing videos from Berlin captured the disaster's severity. One resident described the terrifying collapse of their backyard as floodwater surged toward their home. Texas was hit hard as well. Kerr County reported multiple deaths or missing people.
This is crazy. Me? Wow.
A bedridden
my house is
patient was
flooding.
trapped by floodwater in a
Anybody
Texas
out there?
hospital.
I have my dad on hospice and I need to get him out of here. He's bedridden.
And a house still occupied was torn away by raging water in the Texas Hill Country. In Conroe, authorities released water from a dam to prevent overflow. While Galveston, Dickinson, and Livingston faced serious flooding that disrupted daily life and hindered travel, Seguin reported flash flooding after overnight rain on July 4th, with nearby fatalities. On July 20th, Kiev faced widespread street flooding and inundated low-lying areas after heavy rain. Across Asia, Cebu City in the Philippines suffered severe street flooding on July 16th. And Gwangju, South Korea saw intense urban flooding on July 17th. Pattaya Chonburi, Thailand was also overwhelmed by heavy rain on July 1st. In the Philippines, Valenzuela City declared a state of calamity on July 24th after days of severe flooding driven by the southwest monsoon Habagat and tropical storms Krising Dante and Imong, with streets inundated on July 21st. More than 9,000 people were rescued and evacuated to temporary shelters. The month's most consequential event was Typhoon Wifa. With winds of 160 km/h, it struck Hong Kong, astonishing residents, disrupting hundreds of flights and sending 26 people to hospitals. In Ha Long Bay, Vietnam, a tourist boat carrying 53 passengers capsized during the storm. Wifa intensified monsoonal rains in the Philippines, where 2 people went missing and more than 370,000 were affected. The storm eventually made landfall along China's southern Guangdong coast before weakening into a severe tropical storm. Before landfall, a massive dark cloud spread over Zhuhai, Guangdong, foreshadowing the typhoon's strength. China faced multiple additional flood and landslide crises. On July 11th, Xiamen in Fujian province experienced serious coastal flooding after heavy rain. A week earlier, Damba in Sichuan province saw large landslides after downpours. Significant flooding was reported in Songyuan, Jilin.
哎呀，完了，那出租车要没了，出租车要没了。
And Weixin County, Yunnan endured major floods on July 9th. In Chongqing, the roof of a commercial center collapsed after torrential rain on July 8th. Guangzhou, Guangdong experienced severe flooding from heavy rain on June 3rd. Dujiangyan City suffered disruptive flash floods. And Fuyang District in Hangzhou, Zhejiang reported major flooding. Xianfeng County in Hubei saw severe river flooding on Julsiwan. Contributing to what many described as a broader wave of widespread floods in China. Images of children rescued from floodwaters by drones highlighted life-saving innovation in emergency response. By contrast, Moscow endured severe flooding across multiple districts after intense rainfall on July 22, 2025. These events remind us of nature's terrifying power and the urgent importance of preparedness. Let's reflect on what we've witnessed and how we can better protect ourselves and our planet.